Hey guys, what's going on? It's Lance here, and bringing you guys another video talking about something that's a little bit vulnerable actually today. And I try and do this as much as I can, even if it's something where I know I could feel stupid for a moment, which is a good possibility. I was typing this up thinking to myself, like, this could go one of two ways. But for the one person, maybe two, the one or two people who are watching this, I know there's more people watching it, but for those one or two individuals who might be watching this who can relate, this is for you. Because the fact is that my entire program, what I did was based on the many needs that I had growing up. And so I wanted to kind of chat with you guys a little bit about what I mean there. So I don't want to get into the weeds too much on some things. I've got a lot of quirks is that I laughingly talk about as far as that goes. But one of the things that with me, I grew up and always thought that something was wrong with me because I'm not just sensitive in that sense of, getting feelings hurt and things like that. I am very much that. But growing up though, for me, I wasn't necessarily shy, but I definitely was very intuitive to pick up on if somebody didn't want you around or if you just simply weren't included. I picked up on facial expressions and the whole nine yards. And for me, in first grade, I had two different experiences. Yes, this is a long way back, but again, hopefully this will make sense where I'm going here. In first grade, I had a teacher that I absolutely was terrified of. She wasn't mean. There were a lot of things that I thought that happened that I watched terrified me to my core. I can still remember those things, just kind of calling students out, there was a lot of crazy stuff that happened that just honestly made me just terrified to my core. So I went to a school that was, I think they're called the year-round school. This is the only time I ever did this. I lived with my cousins for a little bit and went to this school, and I can remember having blisters on my mouth. I can remember having getting sick before school, and you would be on school, I think it was 9 weeks, and then off school for 3 weeks. And it just, for whatever reason, the rhythm, all of this stuff, it just did not gel with me. I had anxiety. Crazy stuff. So, nevertheless, fast forward a little bit, and we end up moving. The school, everything was too much. And again, I thought that, I was insecure. I was scared of everything. And I thought for sure I was not good at school, and this was not going to be a good experience. I was already dreading it. My mom reached out to the new first grade teacher and kind of let her know a little bit of what was going on. And this is where the story turns around. This teacher was more than just a teacher. This teacher was somebody who understood. She didn't become a teacher specifically because she liked to teach things or because it seemed like a good thing to do or because she just tolerated children or she couldn't find a major. She was one of those individuals that I would deem more like Mary Poppins, to be honest. She was sarcastic and funny. She was a great teacher. She was, definitely, again, was not a young teacher working with me by any means, but here's what she did. She told my mom and saw in me that I was not having trouble in school because I was stupid or because didn't have discipline or because I didn't understand the material. She kind of had this more or less theory that I was overstimulated by certain things and that what I needed to do more so was actually have empathy. And what I needed more so was guided direction and customization for my school year. And what happened was she pulled me by her desk. I sat by her desk pretty much the whole year round. She began teaching me about things, pulling me out of my shell a lot. And lo and behold, sorry about the coughing too. I've got severe allergies today. Nevertheless, though, this teacher brought me out of my shell so much that was the first year that I was tested for the accelerated, whatever programs that all the kids that tried to beat me up growing up called them just smart kid programs. So call them whatever you want. It was Horizons where I went. But the thing of it is that I went from this timid, scared to death little boy who was, who would find reasons to miss the bus to a teacher who still same grade, still only, a school district over, not a huge thing. And yet the couple of things that she did really, really helped me to feel a sense of belonging. And that sense of belonging showed me that while I'm different, I'm unique in certain ways, not everything different about me is bad. And so the cool thing is, she showed so much emotional intelligence, so much empathy in her structure and how she guided, that it set the pace for the rest of my school year. Not only that, but for the rest of my school career. She would probably laugh knowing that some of the negatives were, she taught me and gave me so much confidence through the structure that she gave me, through this empathy style that she did. And again, I won't go into all the details. There was a lot of stuff. And the cool thing is that I went from being this timid type kid to almost being like a class clown, because later in school, it came so easy to me that I didn't really have to try until years later. Now again, and not only that, but while I still struggled with some social anxieties and what have you, I never really struggled in school like I did before then. No matter, even though I had teachers that were actually scarier than the first grade year, but she did something that changed forever. And that was, again, utilizing what we're going to call feminine energy, but also empathy and so on and so forth. And that's what I use today, to this very day, with my clients because of the structure. Now, again, she was not the only person who had this influence on me. A bazillion books and courses and coaching and so on and so forth. And of course, just being designed this way. But the reason I'm sharing this with you is because I utilize this style in my coaching. And while it's unorthodox, it is highly effective. So the reason that I do that is because of the fact that so many people are used to the status quo in getting shape or reaching fitness goals or reaching business goals or anything. We've got so many coaches that are either on one or two sides of the spectrum. One that is so pushy and so performance-based, they forget to really check in and actually consider that this person has real feelings, and these human emotions are actually taking them off course from the lifestyle that they desire. It's not a discipline issue, and it's not that they don't want it, even though the coach and trainer has suggested that you just don't want it badly enough. That's insulting, and that's not the case at all. The reality is that sometimes the approach is too harsh, and sometimes it needs empathy, and sometimes it just merely needs understanding and affirmation. And the fact is that in my opinion, these are the things that are lacking and have been lacking for decades whenever it comes to, again, a million things, but especially in the area that I work in, which is the fitness industry. And so the fact is that I want to give you 5 different things really quick. I'm going to be really quick about them, but I want to give you these 5 things on why I do this empathy style coaching using feminine energy. Feminine energy is not going to be, again, as you see me, I don't obviously seem feminine or anything like that, but I'm an individual who is more conversational. I like to listen. I'm softer spoken. I'm easily overstimulated. I'm very introverted. I'm not shy, but I'm introverted. I like depth in conversation, even if it's real and raw and uncomfortable. I want to talk about real things. I want to talk about emotions and relationships. And these things, while I never saw them as being inherently feminine, these are things that are considered to be feminine energy. Well, call it whatever you want to. The fact is that in my opinion and in my experience, these are the things that are lacking in the modern day, in my opinion. Not to mention the fact that they're definitely lacking, again, as I said before, within fitness. And this is why, again, in my professional opinion here, why so many people are not reaching goals that last. So without further ado, the number one reason here is that empathy goes a long way to help someone stay the course when life happens. Plain and simple. You are not going to be able to avoid all mishaps and obstacles in your life. There will be funerals. There will be weddings. There will be breakups. There will be losses. And when those things happen, yes, you do want to work on your mindset so that you're not constantly falling prey to binge eating and emotional eating and things that every time something goes wrong. However, it does take emotional intelligence to be able to identify those things, and it takes empathy from a coach to be able to help you to identify those as well. And so the point here is that there are two different scenarios that you can have. You can go through something rough and then be afraid to communicate with your coach or trainer or mentor that you're struggling to feel inclined to do this, or that you're struggling to feel motivated, or just simply that, oh my gosh, I was emotional and I ate my feelings the other night and I'm afraid. The fact is that, again, you can have that whole scenario where me as a coach, I browbeat you and tell you, well, I guess you must not be serious then, because I'm having you do this stuff and you're not following it. Or I can go the other route and we can dig in a little bit deeper. And a lot of times what I ask people is, we kind of want to figure out, is this weather or is this climate? Meaning that, was this a bad storm where so-and-so broke up with you and you ate your feelings? If so, then that's not a really long-term problem. You don't need to hear anything from me other than you're doing okay and let me help you get back into alignment. That's empathy. It's understanding. And it doesn't require any hard-nosed response. It doesn't require any acts of discipline. It's ridiculous. Okay? These are the sort of things that when that happens, now, on the other side of it is whenever it is not a storm, it's not weather, it's more climate, meaning it's something that's lasting, it's something that's happening often. If it's your third or fourth time and you're having emotional eating, then I'm not going to go, you're always doing this, Susan, every time, this is the fourth time, and I need to work with clients who are more serious. Not even a little bit. What I'm really going to do is to say, Susan, I'm noticing that this is starting to become more climate as opposed to weather, like we talk about in our program. Usually when this happens, there's something that's a little bit more deeply rooted. Let's chat, or let's set up an alignment session or alignment call and figure out what's going on that's kind of blocking you from this. Again, it's an empathy response. She doesn't need help on her diet. She's not following her diet because, let me say it this way. I'm using the word diet, but her meal plan, her nutrition plan, her guidance, whatever. Susan is not following this. It's not because she doesn't know what to eat. It's there right in front of her. So she doesn't need me telling her, like, you got to do better and we'll try this or whatever. Instead, what she needs is the understanding of what she's going through so that she's feeling better, number one, and number two, so that the trust and rapport is there, so that when I give her the next thing that's a correction, she's going to actually listen to it, just like I did with my first grade teacher. The second one, the first one couldn't get through. So the second thing here, being understood rather than having a plan based on rigidness, then someone who doesn't have your lifestyle couldn't understand. So I kind of typed it up a weird way, but what I mean here is that being understood rather than having a plan that is fully based on all rigidness by someone who doesn't have your lifestyle and they couldn't possibly understand it. What I mean simply is that, yes, I'm a fitness coach and I have been for a long time, but I also like donuts. I've also eaten my feelings and I felt sad about it and felt regretful. I also, if you put chicken and pizza before me, even though I'm a coach, I want the pizza over the chicken. Now again, a lot of you guys are either choosing coaches who choose the chicken over the pizza, or they claim that they choose the chicken over the pizza. Either one of those, if you're like me, is going to be somebody that does not relate to you, at least in my opinion. Again, we used to hang out with trainers sometimes that they couldn't even acknowledge the fact that they have cravings of foods outside of the clean, healthy stuff, because they've convinced themselves so much that they've got to be Mr. Trainer or Mrs. Trainer, all the time and beyond, that they forget that they could be real humans. And so when they mess up, they don't share it with you, and they dang sure are not going to allow you to feel okay when you mess up. That's not how I like to live. That's a good way for stress for me. My question for you is, let me know in the comments below. First of all, is this relatable? Hopefully it is. The second thing is, does this make sense? The approach going this way, can you see how, again, just like my second first grade teacher, when we moved, she pulled me next to her desk and starts working with me and tailor fitting the school year to me and using empathy and not treating me like I was the average little boy who wants to go and punch everything and and shoot guns and all this stuff. I was not that boy. I needed something unique. Now, again, not everybody needs my unique program, my Master Your Body Confidence program. It's not for everybody. But the fact is that for those individuals who are like me, who do desire empathy, but also correction, so that they can live their best life, but they want to be understood and not scolded, this is why I do what I do. The third one, having emotional support when you get out of alignment so that you're not adding more shame and more guilt when things don't go to plan all the time. Guys, more often than not, people don't reach long-term goals not because they couldn't follow the plan. It's because of the fact that when they didn't follow the plan perfectly, their response on not following the plan was devastating. Meaning that they would mess up on a meal that might put them over their calories, 100, 200, 300 calories in a day, not anything to lose sleep over, because of the perfectionistic tendencies and shame-rooted habits that they had. A coach telling them that they've got to do better and push harder is going to force them into greater means of shame and therefore habits of shame. That is how you get perfectionistic tendencies, meaning that you're going to chase external solutions, but you need you're going to chase external solutions for your internal problems. It doesn't work, not long term. All right, number 4, I'm almost done here, guys. Having someone who guides you not only based on results of fitness, because that is important, but also quality of life based on relationships, quality time, sentiment, building memories, and just your overall self-care and wellness. These are things that are not being, I'm going to say they're not being attended to. And I think that it's a travesty because so many people are looking for ways to get fit by individuals who honestly seem a little sadistic at times, that they want to punish people or just do anything it takes without caring to get those results. And I think that doesn't work for me. Now, again, if that works for you, I can think of countless people who, yes, my program would do well for them, but they live for and do very, very well under the militant style of get it together, let's go hard, hustle and grind. That is overwhelming for me. I don't want to hustle and grind. In fact, like we really try and create as much automation and flow as possible in our daily routine so that we don't have to hustle and grind. That way I'm living my fit life, but I'm not constantly trying to hustle my way through it and to be a 10 all the time. All right, last one here, guys. Having someone who not only teaches you the science, because again, I'm a science geek when it comes to this stuff. Just because I'm talking about the feminine energy doesn't mean that we're avoiding the science of metabolism, of energy balance, the biomechanics, and actually being able to utilize neuroscience to make wiser and more effective decisions for your goals. Those are still being talked about. It's just the fact is, this here begins to remind you that you're a human being and not a human doing when you're learning the science, but you're also learning the aspects of quality life, empathy, and actually setting boundaries for yourself with your family, your friends, your colleagues, those individuals who maybe are outside of that, who don't have boundaries, but maybe you work with them, whatever it is. These are the sort of things that need to be considered if you plan on having what we call a permanent transformation, rather than what we call a temporary makeover. So the thing of it is that there are tons of coaches who do the whole drill sergeant thing, and that might work for many, like I said, but our clients love the mutual understanding, the emotional intelligence, and consideration of their emotions, and not just their ability to hit workouts and nutrition goals. That's why we talk about mindset. That's why we talk about love languages. That's why we talk about personality types and quality of life, because the truth is, I don't want you to just get fit with me. If you only get fit by working with me, then I'm going to consider that a failure because somehow what I've done is focused only on the external things. Really what my mission is I want people to get fit and start seeing what's possible for their lives when they see that they feel better, they look better, they have more confidence, and they start seeing that they were able to do things that they doubted before. My real mission actually has nothing to do with fitness. Fitness is merely a means for me to be able to help you to rise to the next level, to start your business, to pursue that relationship that you doubted, or whatever it is. I don't want to go down that road. To move up the career, or to let go of a career so you can pursue your family, or to start a family business, to adopt, whatever it is. My job, my mission is to help you get fit, and along the way, show you that you are capable of more than anything you thought possible, and then to help you create a plan, just like my second first grade teacher did, that's customized to you, your lifestyle, and not just treating you as if you're just every other human in the world. So I hope that this helps, guys. If that's you, if you're someone like my clients and me, who you thrive being taken under the wing of someone who really gets it, I'd love to hear from you. Send me a DM. Let's chat. Even if you just want to tell me, like, Lance, that resonated, if you understand what a highly sensitive person or HSP is and that resonates with you, send me a message and let me know, or comment below if you feel like this is something that resonates and you're comfortable to do so. If nothing else, if you feel like this resonates and you're not comfortable to do that, hit the heart button or the like button, and at least let me know that this is something that does resonate, even if you're not that person, that it does make sense. So thank you guys so much. Last thing is, if you do want to learn a couple strategies of getting into better fitness alignment, like I'm talking about, emotional intelligence, goal setting, metabolism, go to lancecaroncoaching.com/quiz, and you can take my free fitness alignment quiz, which is going to help you to create your specific strategy, just like my first grade teacher did, the second one, who saw that I was different than the other kids, and she treated me different by basically making sure that I had the empathy, I had the attention that was needed. And I realized that that's not the case for everybody, but I was fortunate to have that. And so that's what I do. I see those individuals in life who feel like, or who seem like the scared, timid little boy that I was with the very first teacher that I had. And I begin to let them know, like, hey, I get it. I would love to show you there's a better way. So if that's you, reach out, send me a DM, let's chat, and just see if and when I can help you. Sounds good? If that sounds good, comment below or send me a DM, and I will chat with you guys later, guys.